A couple of videos ago, we learned about the history of penis slangs. But today, we turn to women and find out the many ways people have called their womanhood.
Vagina word.
A lot of people can't just say penis, and a lot of people can't just say vagina either. So, for the sake of the prudes, let us discover the etymology of all the famous slangs of womanhood throughout history. Okay, so a prude probably wouldn't call it a either, but it's one of the most famous slangs for a vagina. So let's start our timeline here. The word actually appeared as early as 1230 according to the Oxford English Dictionary with the street Cunt Lane, a street name found in English towns back in the Middle Ages. The practice back then was that the street name reflected its function or whatever activity it was known for. So it's safe to assume that Cunt Lane was a red light district. Pussy. Cat has always been the primary meaning of the word pussy, but I think its more risque meaning has taken over, that calling your cat your pussy would raise eyebrows. It came from the modern English word puss, which was a way to address one's pet cat. By around the 1580s, pussy came to be a term of endearment for girls and women, but could be used disparagingly for an effeminate man. And by 1699, that came to be known specifically for the female genitalia, similar to how dick meant a man first before becoming the male genitalia. Oven. Now you might have heard the phrase bun in the oven, which meant to be pregnant. Oven doesn't actually only mean the womb, but it also meant the vagina. According to the Random House Historical Dictionary of American Slang, oven has been used as vagina or womb since the end of the 17th century. Vagina. Just like penis, vagina was originally a Latin word. It originally meant sheath or scabbard. It only came to be known as female genitalia until around the 1680s. So before that, soldiers were pulling out their swords, their actual swords, out of their vaginas. And with the swords liking for a penis, it wasn't surprising that their sheaths came to be known as vaginas. Muff. Muff was first and foremost a cylindrical covering where both hands could be placed for warmth, often made of fur. The word was known to have been first used back in 1568 in Sim and his brother. Eventually, the word came to refer to the female pubic hair and vulvas in 1699, another place for hands to find warmth. Coochie. It's kind of strange that the word coochie came to be known as slang for vagina, but also a part of the phrase coochie coochie coo when tickling an infant. The word's first known appearance was for a song in Chicago's World Fair way back in 1893, performed by belly dancer Little Egypt with her sexually provocative dance, and written by songwriter Saul Bloom. According to some sources, it seems to have only taken its meaning as a vagina 100 years later back in 1991. Twat. Twat is now more known as an insult for someone who's stupid or obnoxious, but before that it was more used as slang for vulva or vagina. First recorded in 1656 in a translation for Martial's epigrams, the Roman poet Martial tells his wife, who was complaining about him having sex with young boys and telling him that she also has an ass, to think that she merely has two vaginas. Give not male names to things such as thine, but think thou hast two twats, O wife of mine. Beaver. Beaver is another slang for female genitalia, but with some emphasis on the pubic hair. It came out as British slang in 1927. It most likely came from its earlier meaning of a bearded man, or maybe directly from how the animal's shiny black fur and flat tail looked. Porn movies even came to be called the slang beaver flick. We're not sure if there ever was a prick flick or something. Fanny. Just like the names Richard, Peter, and Willie, who had been unfortunate to become slang for penis, the name Frances suffered the same fate. Jane Austen used the name Fanny as a diminutive form of the name Frances in her novel Mansfield Park back in 1814. She was most likely not using it as slang for vagina in secret. It only gained that meaning 2 decades after the author's death in the late 1830s when it began to mean the vulva or vagina, according to the Random House Historical Dictionary of American Slang. Snatch. The word's first definition originated back in 1300, meaning a trap or a snare. And in the 1580s, snatch also started to mean sexual intercourse quickly performed. Perhaps if you do it for too long, you'll become trapped. And more than 300 years later in 1903, the word started to mean vulva. There are definitely a lot more euphemisms for vaginas that we have left out here, but these are the famous playful ways of calling the womanhood throughout the centuries. We proposed needle as a new slang for penis because of the pandemic. What new slangs should we have for a vagina? Perhaps corn pussy, since you need to stay there until you're good? What's your favorite nickname for the vagina? Let us know in the comments below and let's make the most confusing comment section ever. If you like this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the Generalist channel so you can be notified whenever a new video comes out.